More Drum Talk TV fun. Hey everybody, how's it going? Thank you so much for taking time to join me on the live, whether you're watching live or maybe you're watching the archive after it's happened with the magic of technology. I'm here with my guest, Rudy Dieguez, who has one of the most amazing collections of drums I've ever seen in one place. I'll get to that. And I know there's a lot of snare hoarders or collectors out there. So we'll get into that. And also is the creator and the founder of the Las Vegas Drum Show. We're about to launch into year 4, right? 3?
Four.
Okay. 4.
Year 4. Yeah.
I was there last year with Enja. It was such a wonderful treat to be part of that. I think my birthday was the next day, if I remember right. And so it's kind of a fun thing for us. You know, I started Drum Talk TV in Vegas, Rudy, when we lived there. Mm-hmm. And so we get to come out, do the show. My birthday is a couple days later on the 2nd, if anyone out there is taking notes. And then the next day, one of our daughter's birthday in Vegas and her son, one of our grandkids. Then the next day is her other daughter, one of our other grandkids who had a baby who turns 1. Our great grandson turns 1. Then there's another. So like in 1 week, there's like 5 birthdays.
Right.
Now we come out for your show. The fun night before thing launches a whole week of us just like celebrating and spending time with family. And then we get to leave and hide in Arizona mountains again.
That's right.
I'm super excited to talk about this. Folks, I will show a few clips that will show some of the things you'll see not only at the Las Vegas Drum Show, but right next to the Drum Talk TV booth. So Mark Sherholt's an amazing drummer, photographer, and custom drum builder / restorer / painter. Wait till you see this stuff if you haven't seen it. But first, Rudy, welcome.
Yes.
Big
Thank
surprise.
You.
Yeah, you're welcome. Big surprise for everybody. I interviewed Rudy at his amazing Las Vegas Drum Room and Mark Sherholt's back in, don't tell me, that was July? It was. Because we were
June or July.
June or July. I think it was
no,
July.
Actually, it was July.
Yeah, I played at our son Kevon's gig with a bunch of guys. Mark came and shot that. We got to visit with you, film that stuff. And then I had a hard drive issue. I had to send it to Northern California. Then I got it back, had codec issues with the file. It's finally going to be finished tonight. And Steve, our producer, will let us know when that's going to post in the next couple of days. And you folks will get a tour of this amazing drum room. Let's start there. What's the oldest snare drum you have there? If I remember, there was some very vintage early 1900 stuff there. Teens,
yeah, I have a couple of Ludwig nickel over brass snares from 1910, 1915, right around there.
How'd you come across these?
A lot of them are just word of mouth. That one actually was a late night acquisition one year on New Year's Eve in a really dark parking lot on a building that went out of business years ago.
Wait, so that's like you being on the other side of the table from your previous life, which we won't get into.
Right. So, yeah, someone called me out of the blue and they said they had an antique Ludwig snare, and I went, and it was very cold outside, and we worked out a deal quickly because I just wanted to get back inside the car and go home. And,
do you mind if I ask what something like that goes for?
Well, one that's really, really nice condition. Like, I mean, this one was not, but one that is very well taken care of. Probably $350, $400, right around there.
That's still
great. There's a variety of Ludwigs from that era that vary in price depending on the features of the drum. A student model versus a more, I guess, professional model.
Right.
But I had one of the more student ones, but it was fun. I mean, I always tell people the best way to learn about vintage drums is by owning them. And once you own them, that's when you start becoming that drum detective, and you start, going through the internet and finding out, what do I really have? What is this? And that's when you really learn.
Have you, and I don't remember if I asked you this when we visited together, but even if I did, for the audience's edification and so that I remember, when you buy something like that, or even like you got beautiful Rogers kit and different things, Do you buy them as is and leave them as is, or do you ever look for like, oh, this one's missing a lug, or this one needs this thing repaired, or the bass drum front hoop is in bad shape? Let me see if we could find this thing. Do you restore them at all, or just as is, and it's like a
I
museum?
do. Well, technically, when I buy one, I started buying a lot quickly. So the majority of what I have on the snare racks in my drum room here are as found. So I'll buy them and I'll leave them there for another day, and then other things take more priority. So little by little, I'll take one out that I think is complete without needing anything, and then I'll
Right,
take it apart. I'll clean it, put new heads, adjust everything, and then I'll bring that out for people to play. And then later on, when I have more time, I'll take another one out. So I have a huge backlog of things, but yeah, there's some things where it might have a modification that you can do something about. Others have extra holes. You can't really do anything about that. So it's
right.
just a case by case basis. I try to have a little bit of new and a little bit of old. So if someone comes over here at the drum room, they can not just pick anything off the shelf because it might not be ready, but there's
Right.
enough for them to sample while they're here.
That's cool. It truly is like a working or operational museum where
Right.
it's not just on display, but you can actually like experience it, which is really cool.
Yeah, a lot of people, they get to see things and play things that they've never seen before, or just seen on YouTube or Instagram, or
Yeah,
in some type of reference book or an old catalog. And here they
right.
get to see it, in real life.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. Now, I want to ask the audience to chime in on this before, and Steve, maybe you can pop it in the comments in case people miss me asking it if they tune in after. Then I'll ask Rudy. But folks, how many drums do you have? And you could break it down to how big is your snare collection, and how many drum sets do you
Boy,
have? And Rudy, what's your answer to that?
you know,
Do
I
you
don't
even
have
know?
an.
Do you need to pull out the inventory spreadsheet?
Well, a drum set's probably right around 20, and a snare drums in the 160 to 170 range. You know,
Wow.
there's usually more coming in than going out.
Yeah,
Right now, what I have in my room is pretty much the things that I like to keep, at least for the foreseeable future. People ask me, is what's for sale, and I'm like, well, usually nothing really, unless there's something that I'm like, I need, yeah, I'm not going to use this. So I've been kind of going through little by little, and asking myself basically, three questions. I'll take a look at a drum, and I'll say, is it really that germane to my collection? Number one. Number two, am I going to set it up for people to kind of, beat the heck out of it in the drum room?
right.
Or was that something that I would backline or rent out?
Mhm.
If the answer is no to all three, chances are somebody else should own it, and not me.
Give it a usable or at
Yeah,
home for people to
yeah,
at least
yeah.
admire.
Let somebody else be the caretaker of that
Yeah,
instrument moving forward. Yeah.
that's cool. Now, I can't help but notice, of course, the view. I have a view behind you. I see the tops of a row of snares. Are
Right.
you on a laptop? Are you able to like show us a little bit
Sure.
of the
Yeah, I can.
room?
I can go kind of old
Yeah.
school. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
cool. Look
there's
how beautiful, folks.
whoops. I got to get this right. So
I remember that kid up on that
yeah.
shelf. Oh, wait till they see the
Right.
close-ups of that in the film we made.
Yeah. There's
Wow.
there's that, and then there's a whole another section behind me, which is the kind of the metal snare section, cast
Mhm.
bronze area. Some Tama, some Ludwig in there. Late 20s Black Beauty snares, which are not cast bronze, but and
Right.
some other like Peisty
Oh, yeah. I remember
snares.
those.
The Zildjian Noble and Cooley snares from the late 80s.
Right.
There's a little bit of everything in there. That's kind of the cove area of the drum room. I have a Rogers Mardi Gras kit back there that
Oh, wow.
people like to sit there, and that's where they take photographs.
Yeah. That's
So,
cool. I don't know. Well, two questions. What's the most rare thing you have? And this might be a different answer. What's the like most oddball thing, like where people say, "Well, I never even saw or heard of that," or the weirdest thing that you have?
well, the weirdest, I mean, depends on what your definition of weird can be.
That's
But I
true.
have I have a mid 1940s Ludwig and Ludwig Victory model snare, in which the hoop and the lugs are made out of wood, and
Oh, wow.
it was for wartime. So
Yeah,
back then, I was told, not by somebody back then, but that manufacturing, for as far as metal use, businesses could not have any more than 10% of their production in metal. That
right.
metal had to go towards wartime uses.
That's
So
why there were a
the
lot of wood paneled cars back then.
right, yeah. So there, yeah, probably. And the snare probably rode in one of those. So yeah, so those drums were, whatever could be made out of wood was made out of wood.
Yeah.
And then once the war was over, in the late 40s, and everything started going back to everything was metal except
Hmm.
for the shell. If it was a wood snare, it would have metal lugs, metal hoops, things like that.
What's the most
Yeah.
rare thing that you have? Is it the same answer or something different?
Um, it could be, it depends on what rare is. It could be, um, well, what do you define it as rare?
I guess,
Limited number, something that was made so few of.
yeah,
Um,
that's
you
what I'm
know,
thinking. The most limited edition, we could say.
Most limited
Limited run,
edition.
limited edition.
Gosh, let me just look up from the screen here real quick because I can
Sure.
probably name off a few things here. Um, gosh, you know what? As far as like drums and drum sets, it's probably more in the area of snare drums. I'd probably say the Tama Bell Brass 1980.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Interesting. I never would have
yeah,
expected that. Yeah.
that's an interesting snare. Tama just reissued it for the 50th anniversary last year. I have
Wow.
one of those as well. But those drums, it depends on who you ask. And I've had
Yeah.
this um, conversation slash debate with a few other people in the past. I've heard they made 30 of those snares. I've
Yeah.
heard they made 100 or 150. I mean,
Mm,
nobody out there seems to really know. Some people claim that they know, or they know of somebody who worked there, et cetera, things like that.
right.
But regardless of the number, it's a very low it's a very low number. Now, why does it make
Yeah.
that rare? Is it because it's an attractive snare? It's not. It's kind of an ugly snare, when you look at it.
Hmm.
However, that same type of snare, not the one that I have, but one just like it, was used on the Nirvana Nevermind album. So
Oh,
that's where it got its popularity. You know,
oh, that's
the
interesting.
6.5 by 14 version. You take the same exact snare in the 5 by 14 version. I've heard there were 10 of those snares. Ask somebody else, you're going to get a different number. But
Wow.
far less 5 by 14s than 6.5 by 14s. Does that mean now that it's more valuable because less were made? Or is it, well, that drum wasn't used on the album, the 6.5
Right.
was. So we all look at things, and we all kind of assign what is value, what is rarity.
Right.
Just because something is old doesn't mean that it's rare. Old doesn't
Right.
mean gold all the time. Some
Right.
things are just old. You have vintage and common, then you have vintage and rare. you
Yeah.
know so ask 10 people the same question, you might get 10 different answers.
Yeah.
you
That's
know
interesting. Are you part of a community of, if I could use the word, collectors, curators of stuff like this, where you communicate and compare notes and stuff, or does it just happen by happenstance?
Just usually just through talking, but not like any type of formal group or
Hmm.
or anything like that. I used to be years ago part of kind of like a bulletin board or a forum, but it seems like whenever somebody would say something, 10 people would just jump on that person,
Oh,
and
it's
tell them, oh no, you're wrong, or
a bunch
this
of
and that.
know-it-alls.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like people that post YouTube videos where they turn the comments off.
Yeah.
They're turning them off for a reason, because they just don't. It takes the fun out of the hobby. It takes the fun out of the
Yeah.
camaraderie across other collectors and enthusiasts and things like that. So people usually reach out to me and ask me questions. Hey, what do you think about this? Do you have one of these? Can you keep an eye out? What do you think this is worth? Where can I get parts for this? And if I can help them, I help them. And if I can't, I'll try to um, moving along to someone else who may have the answer, and put them in,
Right.
in contact with them.
Interesting. That's
So,
cool.
yeah.
I want to before we dive into talking about the Las Vegas Drum Show, let's show a couple videos.
Sure.
And if I may, I'm going to start with the one we just put out, which is this one. Check this out, folks. And we'd love to see you there. Drum Talk TV is going to have we got a booth that's going to be right next to Mark Sherholtz. You'll see some of his work. And there's going to be so many other great vendors of everything from major drum set and cymbal brands that you know of, all the way to some other real boutique brands that are very, very interesting. Right. We'll talk about clinics, raffles. We're going to do the game show in our booth a few times. Be a lot of fun. We'll talk about that. But check this little promo out that we just churned out like 3-4 days ago or something like this. It's a sure bet. The Las Vegas Drum Show, Sunday, March 30th, 2025. Join us at the Tuscany Suites and Casino in Las Vegas. Hi, it's Dan from Drum Talk TV. We will be there at booths 38 and 39, and so will many other awesome exhibitors, including Mark Sherholtz, and these amazing drums of his in the booth right next to ours. Look at those colors and that sparkly, glittery finish and shine. Mark is the owner of Las Vegas Drum Store and drummer and band photographer writer at Drummer Vision magazine. How about this crazy red and silver kit? Mark tells us this is a drum set made up of North drums with 8 D-drum octobons, 2 congas, and a BMX bike, all the same color? A BMX bike with the kit? I think the drummer probably uses a throne. Anyhow, Mark goes on to say that they're all fiberglass plastic, just like Corvettes. And you never know who you may run into and jam with at the show. Here's me and Jeff Totora of Blue Man Group, raiding the Rock Vault, Counts 77, and more. I caught up with the show mastermind Rudy Dieguez in his amazing Las Vegas drum room to talk about it.
March 30th of 2025, and people say, well, why are you doing it on Sunday? Well, I've had a lot of local drummers reach out to me and say, I can never make your show because it's on Saturday, because I'm playing, setting up a rehearsal, sound checks, gigs, all that. And now those people hopefully will come to the show on Sunday. And plus, I try to really push the show to younger drummers in the school system, and a lot of those kids are really busy on Saturdays. All kinds of sports and practices, and you name it, running errands and all that. Hopefully on Sunday they can come out, and the idea is to get more people involved and get more attendance. It's been growing every year.
So join us March 30th at the Tuscany Suites and Casino in Las Vegas for some awesome exhibitors of products, some clinics, raffles, a few rounds of our music trivia game show at our booth, and more. I already told my wife, I hope you have fun doing interviews in our booth, because I'll be in Mark's booth playing all those drums.
Yeah, no, he's been working really hard with that stuff.
I've seen some other pictures and black hardware.
It's so tedious to process. From acquiring, first of all, finding the drum, taking it apart, all the prep, all the sanding, the paint, the clear, the sanding, the polishing.
Yeah.
And you complete one drum. Right. He has his massive Yamaha kit. I don't even know.
The flame kit is 21 or 22 drums.
Oh yeah. So he's going to have that there, which is his personal kit, along with all the red drums that you saw there. Yeah. I think he might have one matching guitar and a BMX bike. Not like this is a guitar and BMX bike show, but since he's kind of showcasing his paint work and what's possible, he's bringing a couple of other things that are in addition to drums. So he's very busy assembling this week, putting everything back together.
Just looks. Will people be allowed to go in his booth, or will he have like a red velvet rope with stanchions blocking it off?
crime scene tape. No, he'll
he's got a hookup.
People in there. He'll have people in there. Then he's going to have Jeff Tortora again from Blue Man Group as a meet and greet, along with Tristan Bowden from Chicago, drummer from Chicago for 30 years. So they were there last year, and those two guys are just so fantastic, so nice, and generous with their time, and they really draw a crowd. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of which, let's talk about the clinics, and then I'll show a couple of videos of Louis.
Sure, yeah. So Louis Palmer, fantastic drummer. I mean, I've been pushing out a lot of videos. I just did another one tonight. Yamaha artist, ProMark, Evans, Meinl, and Las Vegas Drum Room, who's paying the rest of the bill. to have him come out to the show. So
Yeah.
he's going to be playing at 4 o'clock there at the
Cool.
Tuscany. We have a separate room aside from the venue area, kind of blocked off by sound resistant. I'm not going to say soundproof wall, but a
Right.
sound resistant wall, so not to disrupt the show. And he's going to be
Yeah.
playing there at 4 o'clock. So we're really looking forward to hearing him play this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Let's take a look, folks. Look how smoothly he plays. I just love the dexterity and the fluidness in his playing. He's got such a great touch.
Right.
Check this out, folks. It's just such a great left hand. Here's
Yeah,
another. Go ahead.
yeah, he's really great. I mean, just he has such a loose feel, and his economy of motion with his
Exactly.
on how he's going around that kit, he keeps it real close. He doesn't have to go beyond where it needs to go. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of
He's not throwing his
sticks in the
shoulder
air,
out.
but I mean, there's a place for that type of music as well, right?
Sure.
But for what he does, he's right in that pocket, which is really nice to see and hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's another one, folks. Check it out. Man, is that a bronze snare that he's playing? Do you know? It looks like a bronze snare.
I think that's a bronze or a rolled brass, probably.
Yeah.
Yamaha recording custom or hybrid. Kit's a black lacquer hybrid maple Yamaha kit
Cool.
with
And
I think a rolled brass snare. Right.
cool. And Steven's complimenting you on the whole idea of why it's on Sunday. It makes so much sense. So
Yeah, that's
better.
something we're trying this year, hoping for the best on that. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of last show, I reached out to all of my exhibitors that came out last year, and I said, "Hey guys, moving forward for 2025, this is what I plan on doing, and this is why I plan on doing it. What do you think?" And I laid out my reasons, and not one person said no. They either said yes or either Saturday or Sunday, whatever was best for the show.
Great.
So we're going to try Sunday. And I think this way, you can't, there's always going to be some people that have something else going on, whether it's
Yeah.
church or they're playing on Sunday or somewhere else to go. You just can't, you're not going to satisfy and make every single person out there, happy as far as, fitting into their schedule. But I
Yeah.
think we're going to open up a lot more opportunities for people to show up on Sunday.
So what's the attendance record that we're looking to break of the first 3 years?
Well, last year we were at 650, 700 last year.
Wow.
So I like to get obviously more than that. I like to be well over 1,000. So we're gonna try for that and see how it goes. We have more exhibitors this year than last year, and every year more and more people participate. We got a lot, new people. We still have that kind of diehard group of people that come and participate and support every year. One of those being Bone Custom Drums from Slovenia.
Yeah.
They're probably furthest participant.
That's
those
great.
two
I
guys
haven't
come
seen
out.
them since the 2020 NAMM show. I can't wait to see those guys again.
Yeah, they're going to be back. And then let's see, we have Big Island Cymbals coming from Hawaii. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Custom cymbal maker over there, and he pushes out a lot of videos, makes really nice stuff. And then
Yeah.
we have a couple of vendors from Mexico that are coming up this year. I've
Nice.
been really pushing hard on my paid Instagram and Facebook advertising down in Mexico, and I think that's worked. Not only for exposure to possible spectators, but also to exhibitors. A lot of
Yeah.
companies down there. A
Yeah.
lot of companies that like to come to these small shows. They may or may not be able to, afford NAM. NAM's
Right.
great.
And
It
here they
has
get
its
more
has its
exposure.
place. Yeah,
It's more
it's different,
intimate.
right? It's different. It's one day versus multiple there, but it's a lot more economical.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you want to try to take advantage of every opportunity you can to
Right.
get your product in front of end users, in front of people's eyes, faces, hands, so they can just a real mechanical, type of experience with the
Yeah.
product. You can have all kinds of online videos and websites and all that, and that's fantastic. You need that also. But
Yeah.
if you have more cost effective ways of getting in front of people, you never know. You might not, maybe you sell something that day, which is fantastic, but you're talking to people and that person now shows up 3 months later, 6 months later, a year. Hey, I met you at the Las Vegas drum show. We talked about this. I'm
Yeah.
ready to see if we can start talking about maybe building something for my kid. So you never know. This is a marathon, not a race. You have to really look at it long term. You know,
Absolutely. Create that
you know.
market demand with
That's
the
right, and that's what
experience
it
you
is.
give them in person.
It's a marketing event. It's one more
Yeah.
tool in your marketing toolbox, in addition to all these other ways to market your
Yeah.
product and your brand.
Do you invite music stores and buyers of music store chains to come so they can see what's on display there that they may
Uh,
not be aware of?
um, I do. A lot of them already are aware of the show.
Mhm.
There are some that participate in the show. For example, Guitar Center, right? Guitar
Right.
Center's there with that partner up with Zildjian. This year we have a new vendor, which is the Accomplished Musician, which is a local Las Vegas music store. They
Oh,
sell all kinds of things from trumpets to drums to everything. So they're going to be bringing their percussion component to the show, which is
nice.
which is real nice. So yeah, all these we have people that come in from either chains or other music stores that either come to the show or they see it online. So the thing is this, you never know who's going to walk in that door. It might be someone that's looking for something as simple as, oh, my son needs a new drum key, right?
Yeah.
To
A
somebody
splash
else,
cymbal.
right? Somebody else that's goes to the Audix booth because they're looking at buying a whole new setup of mics for their recording studio, and they want to talk to somebody about it, right?
Right.
Or we also have, for example, we have a recording studio here, Electric Shop Recording, that participate, which is great. You got all these musicians here in town, and the ones that come in to visit Las Vegas that want to record while they're here, and they can actually talk to somebody. They can talk to the owner, to the sound engineer, who the person that's going to be mixing their music, and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, how does this work?" More so than what do you charge per hour? The
Right.
money part. What do you recommend I do? And they get a feel for that person. So there's so many things, from drumsticks to cymbals. So we got artwork again. Nancy Spurlock, Angel Campbell, they do great stuff. They're going to be coming out. Um, gosh, electronic drum sets. We're also going to have a high school here this year, Mission Vista High School out of California. They have
Oh.
a steel drum band, and
Oh,
they're
that's
gonna
right. Oh,
yeah
I can't
yeah
wait
they're
for
they're
that.
gonna be in town that whole weekend performing in different parts of Vegas. So they reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're thinking about stopping by and checking out your show. Can we get tickets for?" It was like 35 total members, like 27 kids plus the rest are chaperones.
Are
And
they gonna perform?
actually, no, we don't have the time or the area for to
Darn.
accommodate them at this late in the game. I was talking to the band director there. I said, it would love to do that, but we just don't have time to fit that in. However, I said, you know, how about this? Instead of just coming in and walking around and checking out everything, why don't you guys get a booth? So now they're going to have a booth. So they're going to be there for about 4 hours. They need to leave at 2 o'clock because they have to perform somewhere else. But at least they're going to be there for a 4 hour stretch of time, and they're
Yeah.
going to bring a couple of their steel drums in
Good.
so
Good.
people can check them out, kind of sound sample thing. And
Yeah.
that's one thing. And I don't know how many drum shows you see steel drums at. You see all
Very
kinds
rare.
of other drums. so they're going to be there, and the kids are going to be there, so they're going to be excited, and the band teacher's there, and it's just, one thing feeds the other, and it's
Yeah,
it's about having a variety.
I
Not
can't
everything
wait
needs
to
to
see
be a
that.
drum set, a snare drum, or a cymbal,
Yeah,
exhibitor. It's the whole gamut.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is Andrew Beldy going to be there again?
I'm hoping so. He's the one from Electro Shop Recording. So if
Yeah.
you're watching this, Andrew, it's time to sign up.
Yeah, dude, I still have your card. We got to
Yeah,
get in touch.
see,
I
he
still
still
have it
has your
on my
card.
desk.
Yeah.
Like, seriously,
Yeah,
that'd be
Andrew's
cool.
great. He's the owner of, Electric Shop Recording here in town, and he's very supportive of the show. And it's a real popular spot to record. So I'm hoping he's gonna be there. He was the only recording studio person there last year. So I'm like, hey, this is all eyes are on you. The
It's
attention
wide
is on
open for
you.
you. Yeah.
Right, exactly. For example, we used to never have any cajon companies that would come in to exhibit. So now we have Schlagworks out of Europe, who's
Yeah.
owners with Gretsch. So Gretsch and them are going to have a 3 booth spread. So we're going to
Wow.
be able. So now we get cajons in there. So and then we have another cajon company. It's a really cool product. I just announced them yesterday called the Drum Nest. The drumnest.com. It's like a cajon that has everything inside of it. You pull it all out. It has like a
Like a
bass,
Russian doll.
right? Like a bass drum, electronic bass drum component
Oh,
that runs
wow.
off, I believe, is 33 hertz, and then it has like a little snare drum type thing with a small cymbal, and like this. I'm not sure if I have the right terminology. It's like this thing of jingles that you strap around your ankle, so you're
Yeah.
basically, it's like a one-man band, and it
Oh, it
all
sounds perfect
fits
for
inside
busking.
yeah, all fits inside this beautiful handcrafted wooden case, and it's called the
Wow.
Drum Nest. So that there you go. That's something that's very unique. That is just cool, and he's a new exhibitor, and he's out of California, so they're close. They'll come to the show.
That's great. Do I
Yeah.
remember that Peisty's going to be there again?
Peisty will be there. Tim
Great.
Shahady from Peisty. He's been there at every single show.
Yeah.
He loves coming to the shows, and a lot of these big companies, they're really looking at these small shows as, what's the best bang for the buck out there to get to the end user.
It's smart.
Yeah, yeah, you have larger shows, right? PASIC, NAM, which are fantastic, but you can also include these other shows. Not only mine. I mean, there's other great shows too, right? You have
Yeah.
Chicago, you have Delaware that just
Delaware. Yeah.
last weekend's fantastic over there, and
Right.
then really, really heavily vintage at Delaware, which is something that I particularly like. And then
Yeah.
same thing with Chicago Drum Show. A lot of new, a lot of old.
Yeah.
So we're all kind of competing for these exhibitors, time and their travel dollars, to
Yeah.
come out to these shows, you know. So I'm always thankful for anyone and everyone percussion related that's willing to come to the desert out here to have a really good time on Sunday, March 30th. So,
That's awesome.
yeah,
And folks, those of you who live in Arizona that might be members of the Phoenix area drummers pad, Matt Indy's group, you guys should rent a couple party buses and just drive out to this show. Not like there isn't anything else to do in Vegas. And same thing with those of you in the Los Angeles drumming Facebook group, Los Angeles area drummers, and just get
right,
out there. Like, that's what's so cool about this show, and shows like you mentioned that are like, is that it's drumming centric. You don't have to walk
right,
through the woodwinds hall where it's all everyone's playing in a different key.
right.
It's so neat where it's just a concentration of really neat drums and percussion instruments and people of the same community, which is really cool. It's great.
Right.
I can't wait to see
Yeah,
this.
you got a lot of drummers, and then you got those bass players and guitar players that kind of dabble in drums a little bit.
Yeah.
They'll show up, and gosh, you just never know. People that show up that are into sound therapy, right? They're using
Yeah. That's
cymbals
right.
and gongs to help people. So there's
Yeah.
always there's something for everyone at these shows. We have
Uh,
another exhibitor that deals with the in-ears type monitors.
oh, who is it?
Um, that's going to be it's called Juice's Music Shop out of
Oh,
California. Juice's Music Shop, and they were recently at NAM. So they reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want to participate," and I said, "Fantastic!" So
that's
I'm
good.
finally kind of getting all these categories of equipment that I haven't been able to get the first year, second year, or even third year. So they're all finding this show, especially, I as far as I know, I'm the only drum show on the West Coast at the moment. You know,
Oh, yeah.
we used to have
Yeah.
a Hollywood drum show, which was fantastic. Kerry over there, he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Such an
For
outstanding
years.
person, and
Yeah.
I really enjoyed participating in that show. But after COVID, it wasn't able to come back. Hopefully, I'd like for it to come back again.
Yeah.
So I really focus a lot on the California, not only spectators but exhibitors to come out here. Early on, you really broaden your advertising area, right?
Yeah.
And then as we get closer to the date, you kind of have to focus more and more on the group of people who are realistically going to come out or have the highest probability of coming out,
Yeah. The
you
arm's
know,
length crowd.
30 days before. If they find out 30 days before or 14
Yeah.
days before, that's going to be Nevada, that's going to be Arizona, that's going to be California, primarily Southern California. But you still
Yeah.
have, Oregon, Washington, Utah, Colorado. And
Yeah.
when I pre-sell these tickets, I always like to see where the person's at,
Yeah.
because they'll have their PayPal, whatever verified address on there, to use a PayPal system for these tickets. And it'll say, Montana, or it'll say, Florida. I'm like, wow, they're coming all the way out here,
Yeah.
whether it's
Absolutely.
just for my show or for something else to do while they're out here. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good day.
That's cool. I want to show another video. Then we're going to talk about the raffles
Sure.
that go on. Let me just find the right video. Here's one, and then I'll show ours again. And for those who may have missed it, and because there's just some really neat stuff there. Then we'll talk about raffles, and we have some stuff that we're contributing to raffles that people might be interested in. Check this
Okay.
out. It's funny that Las Vegas sign looks almost like the Las Vegas sign in our video. That's weird.
Yeah, that was my absolute best attempt at making a video.
It's
Promo.
great. It's great. I love
promo
the music
video.
too. Here's another one,
The
folks.
first 2 years, I don't think I had a promo video, but
Oh,
after
really?
that, I got a little bit more into the technology
great.
part of it. And I think, it's because that you can put on the show, you can put what you want people to see and the information, and it always helps. Always helps.
Cool. Here's one more with some other goodies. Check it out, folks. And then we're going to talk raffle. You want to stick around and learn about the raffle, and I'll tell you about our game show that we're going to do too. It's a sure bet. The Las Vegas Drum Show, Sunday, March 30th, 2025. Join us at the Tuscany Suites and Casino in Las Vegas. Hi, it's Dan from Drum Talk TV. We will be there at booths 38 and 39, and so will many other awesome exhibitors, including Mark Sherholtz, and these amazing drums of his in the booth right next to ours. Look at those colors and that sparkly, glittery finish and shine. Mark is the owner of Las Vegas Drum Store and drummer and band photographer writer at Drummer Vision magazine. How about this crazy red and silver kit? Mark tells us this is a drum set made up of North drums with 8 D drum octobons, 2 congas, and a BMX bike, all the same color? A BMX bike with the kit? I think the drummer probably uses a throne. Anyhow, Mark goes on to say that they're all fiberglass plastic, just like Corvettes. And you never know who you may run into and jam with at the show. Here's me and Jeff Totora of Blue Man Group, raiding the Rock Vault, Counts 77, and more. I caught up with the show mastermind Rudy Dieguez in his amazing Las Vegas drum room to talk about it.
March 30th of 2025, and people say, well, why are you doing it on Sunday? Well, I've had a lot of local drummers reach out to me and say, I can never make your show because it's on Saturday. because I'm playing, setting up a rehearsal, sound checks, gigs, all that. And now those people hopefully will come to the show on Sunday. And plus, I try to really push the show to younger drummers in the school system, and a lot of those kids are really busy on Saturdays, all kinds of sports and practices, and you name it, running errands and all that. Hopefully on Sunday they can come out, and the idea is to get more people involved and get more attendance. It's been growing every year.
So join us March 30th at the Tuscany Suites and Casino in Las Vegas for some awesome exhibitors of products, some clinics, raffles, a few rounds of our music trivia game show at our booth, and more. It just gets more exciting the closer we get.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the raffles, and I'll mention what we're going to be contributing as well.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing raffles again this year. I do them every year. It's a great way to keep people around, throughout the show. We're going to have 4 raffles this year, spaced out about an hour and a half or so. The first one being at 11:30, and then 1 o'clock, and I think 2:30 before Louis' clinic, and then like 5:15. Right around there. So yeah, a lot of times exhibitors will donate something to the raffle. Lots of people have everything from, drum heads to cymbals, custom snare drums, all kinds of things. And you never know. People a lot of times will wait until the day of the show to approach me and say, "Hey, I'd like to donate this for the raffle." So the pile gets bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where I have to bundle a lot of things at the same time. Right, I have to bundle a lot of things at the same time. So otherwise, it takes a lot of time for these raffles. So people really enjoy that. So we'll have 4 raffles, plus we'll do a quick raffle during the Louis Palmer's clinic. So right before we start there, I usually try to do some type of like quick trivia, things like that. So if you everybody that pays for their admission ticket will get a strip of 4 raffle tickets. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to sell raffle tickets in the state of Nevada if I'm not a charitable organization. I have to, but I can still have a raffle as long as everyone has an equal opportunity to win. So how do you do that? You give away the raffle tickets. So every ticket holder gets a strip of 4 tickets, and then we do the raffle prizes that way. During the clinic, there won't be any tickets there. It'll just be a trivia, raise your hand kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool.
So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's cool. And we're providing the opportunity for 2 full-length interview spots that'll be done online with me. They'll be live on Facebook and YouTube, and then put on our other channels, Instagram, Vimeo, and X. And if you're a musician of any kind, you could talk about your band or what you like to do. If you're a music fan, we could simply talk about favorite music, concert experiences, different things like that. You could talk about influences, your musical journey. If it's a brand or someone that has a product, you're welcome to talk about that. So those will be arranged with our producer, Steven, afterward. And we want to also sponsor a booth for the following year's show for an exhibitor too. So we'll figure out a way to do a raffle with the exhibitors so that we could sponsor a standard side.
Oh, that'd be great. I'm sure they'll appreciate that for sure.
Yeah. So lots of fun.
One thing I wanted to add.
Please.
In that video that you made, we have the Tuscany, Suites and Casino, the actual venue. They're actually offering a hotel rate, a special rate for the show.
Yeah.
So for people that are coming into town, not only just exhibitors but spectators, it's hotel prices are a little heightened during the month of March because of
during the month of Las Vegas.
Yeah, the year of Las Vegas for March Madness basketball.
Right.
They're doing a special rate. It's based on a 3-night stay, but it's basically $157 per night plus taxes. They're waiving the resort fee, and it's free parking. So if you need a hotel, jump on there. You can go onto the website, lasvegasdrumshow.com. About 3/4 of the way down, there's a link there, a square where it says hotel info, and it takes you right to the venue's website. You put in your dates, and it spits out a number. So
awesome. We're staying there. We're going to stay there. We're getting there I have it on my calendar. We're getting there the day before. We're getting there Friday. We might get there on Thursday, but definitely gonna be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We love staying with, like, when we go out there, we stay with one of our kids and her husband and their dogs and cat, and we love that because we have like our own room at their place, but it's
Right.
in North Las Vegas. So I
Mhm.
told Enja, I'm like, when I do these things, I don't want to get in the car. I don't want to schlep stuff. We're gonna go there. We're gonna unload everything, and we're staying there. Then we'll stay the rest of the week for all the birthdays at their
Right.
house in North Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
yeah, it's fun. You stay at the venue, the day of the
Yeah,
show, you roll out,
there's a
hopefully
great
in
restaurant there.
hopefully in one piece from whatever you did the night before,
Right.
you roll out of. Yeah, they have two restaurants in there. They have a coffee shop. There's plenty
Beautiful
of places
pool.
to yeah, plenty of places to eat across the street. It's a very complete. It's a smaller casino, with a very local feel, but it's very complete. So I think it'll work well for a
Yeah,
lot of
and it's
people.
warming up. So bring your bikini, speedos,
That's
goggles, and
right.
flippers.
That's right. It was 75 degrees today in Las Vegas, and
Wow.
February 25th.
Yeah.
So
I was telling Rudy before we started, I was in Phoenix most of the day. I live in the mountains east of Phoenix. I was in Phoenix. It was like 88, 84. So yeah, it was like 88 or something. I came up to the mountains and it was 82 or something. But I got a Facebook memory that it was snowing here on this day 3 years ago. So it
yeah,
is warming up. There could be a
right,
debate
right.
as to why, but there's no doubt it's warming up.
That's true.
Cool. So, folks, we'd love to see you out there. Go to the website and also see all the list of wonderful exhibitors and what booths they're in. Make notes, start charting out your day, or just don't chart anything out and just go weave your way around the aisles and visit with everybody. Give them some love,
Right.
see all the neat stuff. Stay for our game shows in our booth. We're doing like 3 rounds, 5 questions each. Someone's going to win a prize of each of those rounds. And it's a
Hmm.
lot of fun. It's music trivia, interactive. Your phone's the
Right.
controller. We show you how to log in. Got a
Yeah.
45-inch screen. It's going to be a blast.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, go to the website. You can get your show ticket discounted. There, it makes it a little quicker getting through the line. We
Yeah,
also have a traditional grip masterclass that
that's
it's
cool.
going to be offered at noon from Freddie Charles. Check him out
That's
online.
right.
He really does a really good job. It's some people, they either play traditional grip or they don't. They've been thinking about it for years, and
Yeah,
he does. It's a 1 hour. Now that one is paid. That's a $50 charge if you want to attend that one. It's going to be in the clinic room, but you
cool.
can go online and learn more about him, the class. You can get your ticket for that. You can get your $12 admission ticket. You can get T-shirts. We also have a VIP ticket package, which is $60. And what that gets you access to Saturday, March 29th, which is load-in day, from about 1 o'clock to 5 p.m. That kind of lets you in early, first crack at the gear. You kind of look at things. You can see the drum show kind of convention setup process. Talk
That's
to some of
cool.
yeah,
I
talk
didn't
to
know
some of the
about that.
exhibitors. That's kind of like a little backstage kind of thing the day before. And
Yeah.
then it also includes your admission for the following day, Sunday the 30th, the main show day, and you get your choice of t-shirt. All that for $60. Where are you going to find that in
And
Las Vegas for 60? I don't know.
the
You know,
first 4 people that walk by our booth on setup day get to help us set up the Drum Talk TV booth.
that's right. That's the complete experience, right?
I'll give you a Drum Talk
Yeah,
TV
that's right.
cruise.
Careful what you ask for. You might be asked to move something. Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
Well, we're really looking forward to it, Rudy, and we'll be pumping this stuff out there. I know you got a new video for us, and you and I will be in touch a lot before we get out there. Oh, I'll be
Sounds
seeing
good.
you. What am I saying? I'm going to see you on Sunday, the March 2nd. I'll be seeing you. We're going to film some more promos for this stuff, right?
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool. Awesome. Stay on the line with me after we say goodbye to the audience. And audience, as always, thank you so much for following what we do. And give out the website again one more time for everybody.
It's LasVegasDrumShow.com.
Awesome. Pretty easy to remember. The dot is lowercase, everybody, so don't mess that up. We'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks again.